You, you. What's going on? It's your boy Easy. Most don't I know EZ'er. So coming back at y'all again. Just finished up the finals, AFC, NFC. We now know who will be going to the Super Bowl. We got Patriots and the Seahawks. Rematch of 2014, I believe they said. So we will see who will come out victorious. Shout out to both teams. That AFC game really came down to the wire. That snow was a factor. And like I said, I'm surprised, because you see, Ben Johnson did it last week and Sean Payton did it this week. You didn't take your points where you had them. You didn't take your points where you had them. Like when they give you the points, take them. Look like early going in that Broncos game, they could have kicked a field goal. Probably would have been 10-0 coming into that second half. Because I believe Drake May scored before the half was done. So would have been 10-10. Would have went into overtime, and they probably could have made something happen. Yeah, it would have been dang near impossible, but probably could have made something happen. So once again, you gotta take the points where you get them, and that weather is always gonna play a factor in it. So that was a pretty close game, very low scoring game. That weather made it very difficult. I would have figured that, you have two great defenses, so I think if the Broncos, of course, had Knicks, it might have went differently. I think he could have been in both Knicks that we seen all year, which is like fourth quarter mainly. Well, the fourth quarter Knicks wouldn't have been good because you would have had all that weather issue. So maybe he got them started early, but Stidham did the best he could, I guess, and he just didn't come out with that win. Defense and defense. When you got a stellar QB on one side, or you got almost a rookie, not a rookie sophomore year, but kind of like a rookie season MVP. And then on the other side, you got, a backup, even though he did play, he did start. I believe he started for New England when he first started. And yeah, they didn't have all their weapons. Brian went out early. Troy Franklin wasn't able to be part of the game, so it was kind of down some people and stuff like that. But I think you gotta hit them hard early, and like I said, take your points where you get them. So yeah, that was a good game. This Ram and Seahawks game was a good back and forth. You definitely seen a lot that was going on. It's pretty good. It was pretty good. I actually thought the Rams might pull it off after a little bit of time when that penalty happened with I forgot his name, but with 27, I can't remember his name, but with that taunting penalty and then Puka getting that touchdown, it's like I don't know, man. All you really need is one good play, put the Rams back on offense. But like I said, even with these guys, and even if we would have won last week, I really felt like we would have had a hard time with the Seahawks regardless because they good on both sides of the ball for the most part. Yeah, Sam Darnold makes his mistakes, but sometimes when he comes and he's perfected or he don't have no issues with turning that ball over, he's very hard to beat. He's very hard to beat this year. Salutes to Seattle defense. I had them on my fantasy team, so for the most part, I was supposed to win this year. I messed myself up. I lost my fantasy because of me being a bonehead. I had the Seattle defense. I had Drake May as quarterback. Yeah, I beat myself this year. Always trust in your knowledge of lineups. Always trust in your knowledge of lineups because they'll never steer you wrong. I will always second guess my lineups and stuff like that and got some bad info and just went with a bad lineup. But Drake May has been really good this year. I can't say he was great in the game. Of course, weather played a factor, but he wasn't too good in that game. But he was good enough to affect the game. You know what I'm saying? Be effective at times where they needed him to be. If it wasn't for that touchdown, actually he scored the only touchdown on their side. So he scored the only touchdown. He put him in field goal range a few times. Kicker missed, and then he pretty much the final play of the game. He pretty much dubbed the game for everybody with that final little QB run, and he did what pretty much he did all year. He led them to a Super Bowl. I'll be honest with you. I do think if Knicks was in the game, it would have been a different type of game. I think they still would have came out the winners, but I think it would have been a different type of game. I don't know if Knicks would have been able to come back necessarily. But awesome game. And then on the Seahawks side, Rams played back and forth. You know what I'm saying? They were up at one point in time. I think they needed to keep that momentum. They didn't. They let Seattle gain the lead again, and Seattle never looked back. Never looked back. And shout out to Stafford, Nakua. I really kind of did hope the Rams would advance because of Adams, man. I'm hoping Adams get a championship one of these days because I don't know how many years he gonna have left with Stafford. Stafford played really great this year, so I think he gonna try to repeat next year, and hopefully he does have his wide receiver core back and maybe some few added options. I think they played a hell of a game, hell of a season. But the coaches that we thought was probably going to that playoffs and then the championship round, they didn't do it. Sean Payton, and then dang, now I'm blanking on the coach from the Rams. I know they both named Sean. I can't remember his last, but those were the coaches that you thought would be in the Super Bowl, and not so much so. You can lead a team. That's what I always look for. Like, who's them coaches that can deal with adversity? Like, same thing with NBA. Like I said, I don't believe like certain coaches are good coaches. I just believe they got good teams. So, like, the reason why I believe the Seahawks coach is a good coach because he was able to do what he did with Sam Darnold and Geno Smith. Both not too great. You can't say they really great QBs, but they get the job done. And he was able to take both of them and do something with them. Geno almost, I believe the Seahawks might have, no, they didn't go to the playoffs last year, although I feel like they did. But even if they did, they definitely didn't last long. But decent record with Geno. Bring Sam Darnold in, first year, Super Bowl. Now, we already seen it from Sam. I started to see it from Sam after San Francisco. And it's just like, in some cases, I believe it's the coaching that shows, the levels and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, Shanahan probably the reason why Sam looks so good, because when you plug and play any QB in the 49ers offense, they seem to look good regardless, besides Nick Mullins. He didn't look too good. So I'm like, it might have not been Sam. It might have just been the system. And then you went to Minnesota, and you get the same kind of effect. 14-3 season, but she didn't look too good at the end. And it's like, we seen what Skip called him, same Darnold. Or we seen that maybe you just don't have it on that level. But solid season. Like, most people couldn't do that type of stuff. And then Minnesota let you go because it's like, well, we got our star QB. So, Seahawks. Because I was looking like, man, why did Seahawks go for Sam Darnold and, traded away Geno when Geno was doing pretty decent? But now you see why. I mean, I didn't think he would go and do this. I'll be honest with you. I did think he was going to probably have a good record because, like, you started to see him come on and see why, he went so high in the draft when he was drafted and stuff like that. But I did not imagine that it was going to be like this. You know what I'm saying? I definitely didn't imagine May in his second year going to the Super Bowl. But hey, we got one. I think it's gonna be an exciting game. I think it's probably gonna be low scoring because both teams have good offenses but great defenses. So it's gonna be kind of a decent defensive battle, which it came down to today for the Broncos and the Patriots. But again, you had a quarterback on the other side with the Patriots. So I kind of figured they was just gonna take that one regardless of what happened. Um, so let's see Super Bowl contenders. What y'all think? Y'all let me know who y'all think gonna win. I'll be honest. I feel like the young boy gonna come in there and do what he do, but if I'm Sam, I need that win. I need that chip. Drake May could come back here anytime. I'm getting to that point where I need to get that chip. I need that chip. So yeah, we'll have to see. But I got the Seahawks. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Appreciate y'all for checking me out. This your boy Easy, most known unknown Easy O. So I'll let you.